Welcome to Cali's Take. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So, I've been reading sources, looking around a lot lately, been trying to get an understanding of everything. And in regards to the Clippers, in their trading issues in regards to trying to make trades for a point guard and or a big man, which a lot of people think they need. The fact that Zubac is not really playing up to the level of what they think that he can or where the potential that he should be. Right now, as far as the NBA trade deadline, I would say the harsh reality for that is a lot of the speculation that was out there, maybe besides a few, is really highly unlikely. For one, I was reading clutchpoints.com and a couple other sites, sources, and they speak on the fact of the Clippers having the opportunity to trade for one player that I spoke about in general, which was Mike Conley. And Mike Conley off the Utah Jazz is a point guard, veteran point guard who's very savvy and has been playing the game long enough and has a very good basketball IQ. But at the same time, there is, sources saying that, it's highly unlikely that it'll happen, that it'll come to fruition. And you can check it out on a couple sites as well. But I also believe the same thing. At this point, I don't know if Utah will be willing to let go of Mike Conley in regards to what the Clippers have to give in return, because I think the Clippers are really trying to make a deal based upon the fact that they'll give you a bunch of young players and maybe, some money or picks or something like that. And, they will like one of your major players back, because honestly, I really don't believe the Clippers are trying to get up off of a lot of their core and major pieces, because as I said before, that's what makes them have the depth that they have as a team, as a unit, which a lot of other teams in the NBA don't have. The depth they have from the bench to the starting lineup, the way they can switch and rotate, positions, and got guys on there who can guard position 1 through 5 on the floor. I mean, a lot of teams don't have that type of versatility. So the Clippers probably, more so in hindsight, they're really not trying to give up anything major, because they know what makes them unique. And what makes them unique is the fact that they have all that depth and all those extra guys and all those wing players that can play both ends of the floor and can give you scoring as well. Whereas most teams don't have that. They're trying to get some of those assets from the Clippers, and the Clippers are not willing to bite. The Clippers are only willing to bite if a team is willing to actually settle. And I feel like a lot of teams definitely don't want to do that, because they're trying to win as well. It's not like they're trying to mail it in and not try to get anything back in return. They want to be good too. And especially when you think about Utah, they got Lauri Markkanen, and he's been playing like an all-star this year. And the fact that they can build around somebody like him, they want some good, valuable pieces in return. And they want some pieces that, actually can, make them a good team or an adequate team more than what they might be already now. Even though Utah is playing pretty decent, but, they want some pieces more likely that can help them play more than pretty decent, help them make a playoff run, what I'm saying? So, and I definitely understand that if that's where Utah is coming from. And I definitely think that's probably the holdup in the situation on the Clippers in a few situations that they might be trying to go after. I mean, I've talked about trades with Jakob Poeltl and a couple other players. And, there's even, mentions out there about Kyle Lowry. And I don't know how true or how, how that's going to turn out, if that has any possibility. But I don't know if Miami will be willing to let Kyle Lowry go, especially, if they're not going to get something in return that they think that can help them. Like if now in Miami, they might be a little bit more easygoing in regards to trading, because they're used to, making trades, and they always been more of a team that, has had their hand in the trading deadline. The Utah Jazz, they just seem pretty private as an organization, and they really seem like they really only want, certain things. Like they're very picky in regards to who they pick up or who they want on their roster. So I personally think, the Mike Conley situation with the Clippers might be out of the realm, highly unlikely also, because I just don't know if, what the Clippers are offering or what they will offer to Utah is really, substantial for them. I mean, because honestly, I feel like Utah wants to get younger. So hypothetically, if the Clippers offer them Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, and, somebody like that, that really wouldn't be good enough for Utah, because they already have veteran players, on their team, and they want to get younger and start over and, build around Lauri Markkanen, because he seems like he could be their star player going forward. So, as a Clippers Nation, Clippers fans, I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't see any of these trades go through, especially right now, because the Clippers definitely can't give up too much to get little in return. And on top of that, other teams are not trying to get too little in return to give up one of their major pieces, they feel like, and, not be able to better themselves as well. So it's really a catch-22. I feel like the Clippers are in, because the Clippers have pieces that any team would take. But at the same time, certain pieces they're not trying to, come up off of. And I just don't know if the Clippers are willing to come up off of John Wall, especially, even though John Wall's hurt. But I mean, they feel like John Wall, can give them a puncher's chance to, be the point guard they need. But at the same time, they don't want to come up off him so early because they haven't really had time to evaluate him yet. I mean, I know it's been, about half the season or something like that, but that's just half a season. That's not a full season. That's not in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the Clippers are kind of going back and forth with themselves and going back and forth with trade talks with teams just to see what type of opportunities they have, whether they can, go through with those opportunities or scale back on those opportunities. But I feel like they're just kind of like up in the air thinking of what they should do or what direction they should take, because they know the point guard position is vital to their success. I mean, that's really what kind of hindered them before and made them, play from behind in some NBA series that they had to do a couple years ago before Kawhi got hurt, because they really didn't have that point guard play that made the offense more well-rounded. So, I mean, they know they need that, and they know they possibly can use another big man because, Zubac, they depend a lot on him, but at the same time, he's not going to be one of those top big men in the league. That's like, he's not an Embiid or a Jokic or anything nowhere near close to that. So, I mean, if they can get more depth in that area, I think the Clippers would probably try to go that direction too. So, I mean, it's all up in the air right now. But for me personally, as I said before, I don't think the Mike Conley situation, will probably come to fruition. I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if it didn't, or if it did, or if it didn't. But I mean, at this point, I just kind of feel like it won't, because there's really no substantial, ground there where you can see it possibly happening. Because, as I said before, the Clippers are not trying to give up too much or take away any of their core players to give away to bring in a guy who they might not, who might not work out with them. You see what I'm saying? Because the Clippers have been burned before as an organization. They went out and got people in the past and certain players, and it just didn't work out to championship, quality. So, I mean, they're just trying to be over precautious, and I guess that's a good thing in this situation. But honestly, the Clippers have really almost everything they need, really. They got point guard and John Wall. They got wings. They got very much versatility. They got, arguably the best player in the league in Kawhi when he's healthy. Paul George being a star player that he is. I mean, you got a lot on the team anyway. So just getting everybody healthy is really the Clippers thing. So if they get everybody healthy and keep everybody together, I think they're good enough the way they are. But of course, I wouldn't mind adding a big man to the roster. And if they looked at another point guard who's better than John Wall, I wouldn't mind that either. But we just have to see how it turns out, because right now, as I said before, I just think the Clippers are going to more or less, you're going to see them ride with the team that they have going all the way to the playoffs. No trades, possibly. Maybe with the exception of a few out there I think that they can possibly trade for, but we'll see what happens. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, till next time.